Hi, Tracy here with the Idea Closet, and I wanted to show you some cards that I made for my blog. I actually put these together for the My Scrap Chick design team, and today I thought I would put together a couple of short videos showing you how I did two of these. So for this video, I'm going to show you how I did this Thinking of You butterfly easel card using my Silhouette Studio. Let's go ahead and get started. And open up Silhouette Studio. Now I am using version 4. This is a new version that just came out a little while ago. I love it. I'm very excited for it. I've been using it. I actually used the beta edition for a little while, and I actually really like this. I'm also using the business edition. So if mine happens to have a few buttons or icons that you don't have, that's totally fine. This card can be put together using the basic edition or the designer edition. I will add this as a side note. To open up SVG files, which I am actually using, you do need either the designer edition or above. However, My Scrap Chick does all their files in other versions that you can also open up in that basic edition. And so even if you're working on basic, you can do this. You'll just need to open up a DFX file instead of an SVG file. So let's go ahead and get started. I did bring in a picture of my card so that I could kind of show you the look that we're going through for. So the first thing that we're going to do is this file has 3 parts to it, and I've opened up the first 2. I'm going to go ahead and show you how to get the third one on here. So you'll go to File and Merge, and then the third card. We'll bring that in. And there it is. I'm going to slide this over here. Now when I work with SVG files, you don't have to, but I like to change all my lines up to red just because that's what I'm used to working with in Silhouette Studio. So that's what I normally do. I'm going to come over here, and my screen's a little bit small, so you might not be able to see this, but this is your, there's your line color. I'm going to open up the line color, and we have the line style right here, but we also have the line color. I'm going to go ahead and click on that and choose red. And that changes all my lines to red just like they would if it was a normal file from Silhouette. Go ahead and close that window open, or close it. So now we're going to get this ready to cut. So I need to ungroup it. With everything selected, I'm just going to right click and ungroup. And each image becomes its own shape, and you can see that because it has its bounding box around it. When we come over here to this one, you will notice that the perforation marks are also their own image. So we need to group this together. I'm going to select everything, right click, and group. That's just so that as I move it around, I don't lose my perforation points, which is another reason it's kind of a good idea to change those lines to your red color, because if they weren't showing up and I moved this, I would have lost my perforation marks and not known it because I wouldn't have been able to see them. So now we can start to change some of the colors if you want to, so that you know what color cardstock you're going to cut everything out. This is an optional step, but you don't have to do it if you don't want to. So for these 3 pieces right here, my large butterfly, my little butterfly, and the base card, we're going to cut them out of pattern paper. But I want to cut them all out of the same pattern paper. So all I'm going to do is just change this butterfly to the same color. Like I said, you don't have to do it, but it gives you an opportunity to use these new tools. So I'm going to come over here and open up my fill panel. We have 3 options. We have the fill color, the gradient color, and the pattern fill color. I'm going to grab my eyedropper tool and click on this butterfly because I want them to match, and it's automatically going to change that there. We have another option to change our colors, and that is to click on it, and then all of your options are up here. So for this one, I want to change this to white. So I'm just going to open it up there, click on my white. And the reason that I changed that one to white is because we're going to turn it into a print and cut in a minute. This outline, or yeah, I guess that's what you want to call it, is also going to be white. So I'm going to come up here, click, and click on white. We also have a line color here option if you wanted to use this instead of opening up your window over there. All right, so for this piece and this other outline piece, we're going to make them black. To select both of them at the same time, I'm going to click Shift and click on both of them. Come over here and change it to black. And these other two we can leave the same. We're going to cut this and this out of orange. And we're going to cut this piece out of yellow. And once again, you can do these out of any color that you want. But now we have them ready to be cut out of the same colors. So the first thing that I will do before I start cutting is I want to change this image, this piece right here, into a print and cut image. I'm going to move everything off my mat. I'm going to bring this in, and I want to type up this thinking of you sentiment. So I'm going to open up my text window. That gives me my text cursor. Now, right up here is all of my options. I can decide what font I want to use. And I'm just going to do, I don't even remember what I did, but I want to do something that's a little scripty. So we're going to try this Abilene Scripts. And we'll leave it at 70 fonts for right now. I'm going to click and type thinking of, thinking of you. I'm going to highlight it all and center justify it. Now I want to change my spacing a little bit, so I am going to open up my text style window here, and then I'm going to change my character spacing so that not character, sorry, my line spacing, so that brings that up right there. Okay? I'm going to fill that in with a black color, so I'll come up here, fill it in with black, and then I'm going to turn my lines off. And to turn the lines off, you'll hit the hash mark. All right, now I'm just going to bring it up here, and I'm going to size it so it fits inside my circle. Whoops. There we go. I like the way that looks. Maybe bring it down here just a little bit, and then I will just group everything. Right click and group. I'm going to close this off. Now to set this up to do a print and cut, I need to come up here to my page setting window, or actually it's called the page setup panel now. I'm going to click on it. And the first thing is the size. If you have a 12 by 12 printer and you want to use it, that's great. But if you don't, you can change it right here to your letter size. And you also have your grid setting on this page, but next we want to do the perforation marks. So I want to turn them on. And there we have it. Now I could make copies of this if I were going to do multiple cards, and that's actually probably what I would do so that I don't waste one full sheet of paper doing one little print and cut. But once that's set up and ready to go, we're going to come to send. Now this is new in the version 4, but it's really cool. So actually, let me go back a step. I would send it to my printer first, which is right over here. So I'd send it to my printer. I'm not going to do that. I say that I'm not going to do it, and I'll show it to you. But here is where you would set up, pick your printer, and then hit print. Once it's printed, then you'll come to send, and you have your cut window ready to go. I love this new cut window. So the first thing is we have material, and I will go to cardstock right there and have it set, and it's going to down here show me what speed I have, where my blade needs to be set, and all of that. Then I'm going to come up here to action, and this is where you can decide which tool you're using, which blade you're using. If you're using the automatic blade, or if you have the older one, you can hit your drop down and choose the ratchet blade or your deep cut blade. And then you can decide how you're going to cut it. Now, I don't want to cut the individual letters. I only want to cut the circle. So I'm going to come to line, and it gives me a no color or the red. I want the red checked because that's the outside of the circle. If I checked no color, it would want to cut the letters. I don't want them, so I'm going to uncheck them. This is all ready to go. I would simply hit send, and it would go to my silhouette and cut it out. I'm not going to do that yet because I want to show you how to set up the rest of this. So now I'll go back to design. There's my design window. We've already cut this, so we can move it off the board, off the mat. Come back up here to our page window, and I'm going to first off turn off my registration marks because everything else we're just going to cut it. We don't need to print and cut it. I'm going to turn my page setting window on. Come up to automatic so that I have 12 by 12. I'm going to close this out and then just start cutting all of your images. So I would start with my black, cut them, go to send. This time we can just do a simple cut. So I hit simple, and it's just going to cut everything out the way that it should be. Send, click send, and then it will cut. Now in this window, I can actually move things off and move things on, but you can't edit anything in this window. So if I wanted to edit it, I would need to go back to the design window, and then I could rotate it or make it bigger or smaller. But from the send window, you can move things back and forth. So we would hit send, cut it, select both of these, take them off your window, and then we've already done the white print and cut, so we could get this, send it, cut it out. Anyway, you get the idea. It's a very simple way to create cut all of your images. I am really, really happy with this new version 4. I really enjoy it, and I hope that you will give it a try and go ahead and make this Thinking of You butterfly easel card available from my Scrap Chick. Thank you, and have fun.